G'day guys, today we are in Bangkok and we're going to have a sit down and a chat with Walter, who is from the Netherlands. Now Walter has an interesting story. He first moved out to Asia about 15 years ago and he got started in China at the time. He now lives in Thailand. He's been here for 5 years, and how he got here, he was sent here by his employer to basically set up the satellite office in Bangkok for their health brokerage firm. And he was able to build that and manage that to have 40 staff working for him here in Bangkok. After that, he left that company and he went and he started his own health insurance brokerage company. So we're going to talk about what it's like setting up and running a company here in Thailand, the taxes, the compliance, and the complexities that come along with doing this as a foreigner. We also discuss why so many people are leaving the Netherlands and Western countries in general and moving out to Thailand now. Walter is also raising a family out here in Bangkok with his wife, who's also from Europe. So we have a chat about international schools, bringing up young children, foreign children in a foreign country in Thailand, and all of the stuff that comes along with that, because it is very different to bringing a child up in your home country, of course. So I think this conversation is going to have something for everyone, whether you're an individual thinking about moving out to Thailand, whether you're an entrepreneur and you want to set up business here, and also families who are looking to move out here and raise children in Thailand. So we cover a lot of topics. I hope you find it interesting. And lastly, Walter does run the health insurance brokerage firm Vandershaw out here. And if you're interested in taking out a health insurance policy or any kind of insurance policy in Thailand, get in touch with Walter, mention Offshore, and he's going to give you a discount as well. Other than that, guys, sit down, enjoy the chat, and I hope you learned something from it. Okay, Walter, thank you very much for coming back on the channel. Good to have you back again.
Thank you.
You've got a pretty interesting story. I think you've been out in Asia for a long time and done many things that people will be interested in. So I thought we'd get you back on and have a bit more of a chat about you and your story and what's bringing you up to this point here in Bangkok.
Yeah.
So if you like, just give us a bit of a quick introduction of who you are, what is your business, and what you're doing here in Bangkok.
All right. My name is Walter Vanderwall. I'm Dutch. I've been now in Thailand for 9 years. Asia almost 13, 14 years even.
Right.
Because I was before this in Shanghai, China, and also 2 years in the US. So more than 15 years already. So you've gone from Holland.
Yeah, you're sort of you're probably like in that position when you go back to Holland. It almost feels like
reverse culture shock.
Yeah,
like absolutely reverse culture shock. It becomes worse every year you go back to your home country, which I did. We went back every year except for COVID, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, fully reverse culture shock. You feel like a stranger back in your home country after 15 years of being away. Obviously.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you came out to Asia initially in 2010.
Yep.
And you went to Shanghai in China.
Correct.
And you went there as an exchange student at university, is that right?
Yeah, I did a 6 months, half a year exchange program at Shanghai University of Finance and Economics.
Yep.
In 2010, so I was like 22 years old, I think.
Yep.
And that's basically where the whole journey started.
Yeah. So what attracted you out to China as such a young man?
Well, I wanted to go abroad always, and I just looked in my university, like what are the opportunities to go abroad.
Yeah.
And I actually had like you were able to choose 3 options, and I did. My first option was actually Canada, Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then second option was Beijing, China, and then third option was USA, Knoxville. I remember. Yeah, Knoxville, I think, in Tennessee. And but eventually it became Beijing, and that changed later on to Shanghai, China.
Okay.
Because of the university or whatever, they had a better program in Shanghai. And I was very happy about that because Shanghai sounds a bit more nicer than Beijing, you know? Like Shanghai is more international, that at least was back in the time. It's already like 16 years ago now.
Yep.
So yeah, but I also sometimes think like, imagine if it was Canada or Vancouver, then my life
Could have been
would have
totally
been
different.
completely different.
Yeah, you just don't know what direction it's going to take, do you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like back in 2010, I'm trying to think back what was happening then. I think it was pretty much China was gearing up into a big boom, weren't they?
Right.
Things were changing quick.
It was already, I think. It happened like
I remember
around
they
the
were buying
2000s.
a lot of iron ore off Australia.
Right.
And Australia was booming because of it.
Yeah. But then in 2010, I think it was like, was it the peak? I don't think it was the peak.
Probably not, but that's like there was a lot happening.
But there was a lot happening. The country opened up. Lots of foreigners were coming in.
Was it different to how you expected it to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different.
A lot more modern?
Modern in 2010, not really.
Not as much as now.
Not as much as now, you know. But in 2010, it was, you know, like you expect a lot of rules and you know, because you hear always about China, that it's like, you know, there's so many rules and blah, blah, blah. But it was so free for us as foreigners, right?
Yeah.
Like I always remember, like for the Chinese, it's not very free, but for foreigners, you could do whatever you like.
A little bit in Thailand, a little bit. They kind of just, they leave you alone a little bit as a
well, they become stricter here now in Thailand as well, because the foreigners are kind of like abusing it here and there. But that's exactly what happened.
Maybe 10 years ago it was a bit different.
Yeah, but that's exactly what happened in China as well. But then I came back to China 2 years later in 2012 to actually live there.
What was the expat scene there like? We sort of, I guess there was probably like a bit of a expat bubble, like a lot of, did you speak Mandarin or?
In the end, a little bit. But
you don't really need to get
by. My exchange program was actually like doing business in China was the kind of like project there. Right. So I had I learned quite some Chinese and a lot of characters. So that's where I really kind of like had a foundation for my Chinese language abilities. But I didn't really pursue it when I came back because it's not really necessary. And also the job that I found in Shanghai was not really necessary to speak Chinese. And the Chinese that I was working with spoke all English. So.
Yeah, I guess like even in China, English is like the international business language, is it?
It is, but of course it's extremely helpful if you can speak Chinese. But in my environment where I was in the insurance business, and I was only basically insuring foreigners in Asia and China, it was not really necessary for me to speak to speak Chinese. Yeah. So I learned, of course, because I lived there almost 5 years, and eventually I learned a lot in terms of Chinese, but I was not really conversational. But I could definitely, you know, let a Chinese know that I was living here for a long time already. So that was always a good thing. Yeah. Same as here in Thailand now. You know, like I can definitely distinguish myself from the tourists.
Yeah. They know you're not fresh off the boat and treat you a bit better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I guess back then, I mean, you wouldn't have had digital nomads up there, but I'm thinking a lot of people who were going there, foreigners, would have been involved in sort of import-export, that sort of thing. Like, a lot of your clients, what kind of businesses were they?
Well, it was China? A very interesting, dynamic because, of course, you have like the traditional expats, right, from Holland or from Europe, and of course I had a large Dutch community that I work with, or they were my friends, etc. And they all worked for like the larger companies, right, and they have an expat contract, etc. But there was, when I came back in China in 2012, there was this very large pool of people, coming from all different countries. Really? That were just wanted to work here, and came with nothing and just wanted to look for jobs.
Like people from Southeast Asia and...
No, from Europe, from Australia, from America, from, these kind of countries. And I was one of them as well, because I also came to China back in 2012 with nothing. Yeah. I didn't have a job, and I was just applying for a job and looking for a job. And so many people were doing that actually, because they're all kind of like, here China is booming, this is where where you need to be in order to accelerate, etc. So there were like the traditional expats that were working for the big companies that were sent to China, but there was like this very large pool of people that were just looking for jobs and looking for a job that provided a work permit. The work permits were really kind of like valuable, and that like if you get a work permit, the salary is low, it's fine.
Just to get
just to get in. And live in China on a work permit and don't have like need to leave the country or come back, and because the visas were quite a thing, especially work permits back in China. Yeah.
What were the salaries like?
I remember when I came back to 2012, I was 23 years old. My first job was at a company called Global Motion. It was like smart buy glasses, and that was like some sort of semi internship, but it was just a way for them to like recruit like very cheap Western labor in China.
Yep.
And I remember there was 500 euros. And I was like, after 2 weeks, I was just continue applying.
Yeah.
And then after 2 weeks, I was like, I found another job that paid me 3 times as much. So that was almost 1,700 euros.
Oh, that's a good improvement.
Yeah. And then I left that job at Global Motion after 2 weeks and moved to Pacific Prime, actually. Yeah. And that's the company where I stayed for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty reasonable for China, and also back at that time as well.
It was okay.
There'd probably be some European countries that might be a bit lower than that even, would there?
I came from a job back in Amsterdam when that was a bit higher because I also commissions, but the base salary at that job in China was $1,600, and then I was able to make commissions on top of that. Yeah, okay. If I was selling, or I was doing well.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that in the beginning if I was going to do well, etc. So the base salary was 1,600 euros or something.
Yeah.
I remember, what was it, like 12,000, 13,000 kwai or Chinese yen, RMB. And but then I was able to sell a lot, and I was doing well. So and the commissions were quite good, quite generous that company gave. So I was doing well, and then I was able to make after half a year already more like doubling that.
Nice.
So that was going well. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Was it expensive cost of living in Shanghai?
Not in the beginning. Like when I really moved there in the beginning, I remember I paid, what was it, 300 euros or something, 3,000 kwai RMB for an okay house. And then I remember I had some roommates here and there. But it was okay, but it went up really fast, from 2012 to 2017.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was okay in the beginning, and you could still live cheap and eat street foods, and and the beers were also alright. But it went up really fast. I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Over the time.
You must have been doing alright in your job because your boss decided to send you to Thailand to set up an office here.
Right. Yeah.
So they must have seen something in you. Like, here's a guy that can go there and pull it off.
Yeah.
So that was 2017. You came here to Bangkok to set up a satellite office for Pacific Prime, is it?
Correct. Yeah, correct. So I was as I started in 2012 with Pacific Prime, I was doing well. I was selling well, and then I became senior sales consultant, and then I became a team leader, and then. Somewhere in 2015, they started a project to explore Southeast Asia and see which countries were doing well. And Thailand was by far the number one country in terms of Southeast Asia, in comparison to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, etc. So then I was almost 2 years kind of like traveling back and forth between Thailand and China, and I was only selling in Southeast Asia. I was business development manager Southeast Asia, I remember.
Right.
And that was a cool time because I was traveling back and forth between China and Thailand.
Yeah.
And I was here 2 weeks in Thailand, and then I was 2 weeks in China, and I was living here in an hotel.
They were paying for your hotel.
They were paying for my hotel and everything, and then I was renting out my apartment back in China on Airbnb because that was coming up during that time as well. So that was really good. And back then I had a really nice apartment in Shanghai with a garden and everything. So I was able to rent that out for quite some, 150 euros per night, nice. Because it was in the middle of, the CBD of Shanghai with a garden.
Yeah. So
that was doing well. And it was almost like 1.5 years traveling back and forth. So I had my kind of like my life here in Thailand a little bit, and my life in Shanghai with, all my friends, and because I was living there almost 5 years. And then I was doing well. I was creating a foundation in Thailand to set up the office, getting the licenses in place.
So you were organising all that stuff.
Yeah.
You would have had a bit of support from the back office,
of course.
Guess. But, you were like the man on the ground here talking to like the Thai accountants and the Thai lawyers or whatever needs to be done. And,
to get the licenses in place. And that was quite a bit of a process to get like the broker license and the non-life insurance license or non-life insurance broker license.
Yep.
And because you have to deal with, you know, the OIC here, the Office Insurance Commission, and then you have to go through all kinds of loops and presentations with all Thai people as well. And that took almost like 2 years to get that license in place. And then in November 2017, we finally got that license. The license was approved.
Yep.
And then my boss said, like, let's go, move to Thailand and start the office. So then I moved from Shanghai to Bangkok.
Yeah.
And start my life here basically. And I was alone back then, so there was not really anyone to help me. But of course, I had quite a big of an infrastructure behind me that supported me, including the owner of Pacific Prime that was helping me a lot, and
still would have been a big learning curve, wouldn't it?
It was an amazing
the
learning
foreign
curve.
language and
and we started a little office at Central World at Chitlom, and that, you know, we started in a similar office, like a co-working space, and then a little office, and then I was able to hire two Thai to help me and support, and I was still selling at that time as well. Mm-hmm. And then step by step we were hiring more people, and then we grew to bigger offices, and kind of like 1.5 year or 2 years down the road in co-office space, we rented a big office at the President Tower, also at Chitlom, next to Central World.
Okay.
And that was almost 300 square meters already, and back then, you know, after 2.5, 3 years, we almost had 40 people, 35, 40 people working.
All underneath you? You were basically the boss?
I was the country manager, yeah. There were different departments, obviously, but I was the country manager. So yeah, I was looking after everything.
And they were mostly Thai people?
No, we hired also foreigners back then for sales positions and also IT.
And like the business would sponsor them for a visa or something.
Correct.
Like that.
Yeah. And we had someone from IT also setting up IT businesses there. And then after 3 years or something, I was able to get someone from internally to help me. And then I got like an old friend of mine that I worked with in Shanghai, but that moved to Dubai for Dubai office for Pacific Prime. I was able to recruit him and let him come to Thailand to help me. So that was a good thing. So yeah. And during COVID, actually, when COVID kicked in, after the first lockdown, I came back to the office and everybody was back to the office, and it was all a bit of a weird period, of course. But then all of a sudden they threw me out. They let me go, and that was
Pacific Prime.
Pacific Prime, out of nowhere.
After you'd done all the hard work.
After I'd done all the hard work, and finally I got like a number 2 that was able to help me with managing the office and getting all, you know, the hard work, right? Like all the small issues and the hiring and letting people go and hiring new admin staff and etc. I thought I was finally in a position to maybe a little bit cruise a little bit, right? Like, because I was set up and 3 years of hard work in Thailand, 4 years actually, and then also 5 years in China, of course. So I felt like, okay, I earned my position a little bit, that I can maybe slow down a little bit. And then and I thought I was in the position because they gave me a massive bonus 3 months before as well, unexpected. So I thought I was doing very well, right? And the company was doing well. You know, we were. I thought we were profitable, even though a lot of investments, of course, etc. But I think we were making good money. The sales was doing well. We got some really good accounts in, etc. But then anyway, after the first lockdown during COVID, they threw me out of nowhere, and I was completely flabbergasted.
Didn't know what to do next in your career and whatnot?
Well, no, because it was my first real company, right? I almost worked for them for 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
It was my first real job.
Yeah.
I treated that office as my little baby as well, and then they threw me out.
It would have been a bit hard to take. But
and I never knew it was even possible because all the bank accounts and everything was all my name. I was a director of the company.
Right.
And
so it's not a small thing to do from their side, is it?
No. And I also didn't see it coming. But maybe, you know, in hindsight, I was 30 years old back then, and then I had almost 40 people working there. I was a country manager for quite a big company. It was doing well. It was growing really rapidly also across the globe, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I pushed too hard on because I wanted to have shares and I wanted to have this. And in hindsight, I was like, man, I was 30 years old. I had a good package. I had a good salary.
Yeah.
You know, where I came from what was it, 1,600 euros back in 2012.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I was pushing too hard on this and pushing too hard. I maybe wanted a little bit too much of them, and maybe that pushed me out. And of course, I also made some mistakes, but I never got the exact reason why they threw me out.
So I guess at the end of the day, I mean, maybe one door closes and another door opens, or is it?
Yes, it did open many doors.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would have made a bit of a name for yourself, I'm sure, in the industry.
Right.
So you could have been hired by other people, but you decided to, eventually went and started Vandershaw, your own insurance company. But just before we get on to Vandershaw, what was it like sort of managing, so you had like 40 people, you had foreigners, I'm sure they came from different countries, you probably had some Thai people in there as well. What's it like managing a workforce when everyone comes from different cultures and has different work cultures as well, and what they expect in the office, if it's noisy or if it's quiet, and you'd have to sort of...
That's a very good question. Actually, I found that very impressive throughout my whole career at Pacific Prime, how they managed that, because there were like the strength of Pacific Prime was that they hired many different nationalities, so these nationalities could click with all the different nationalities in that country to basically be their consultant and sell insurance. You know, I was predominantly going after Dutch guys or North European, etc., because we relate Spanish after Spanish speaking, Americans after Americans, etc. So they hired so many different cultures and different nationalities, and they were all blended together in one big group. And then, of course, in China, you had mostly Chinese, but now in Thailand, then the support staff are mostly Chinese, and then now in Thailand, the support staff are mostly Thai. Yeah. I've always sensed that the Thai want to hang around with Thai, and the foreigners hang around with the foreigners.
Yeah. That's pretty natural.
Yeah, it was quite natural, even though all the foreigners were kind of like from different nationalities, but they feel kind of like more together because they're all in a different country in Asia, and of course Thailand is a very different culture than Europe or the US or Australia for that matter. Did
you have some Chinese in the office as well, you said?
We
and other nationalities, like any sort of like Singaporeans or Cambodians?
We tried also Japanese. and we Chinese, but it was harder to blend with the foreigners and then the Thai, and they have also a very specific way of working, also the Japanese and the Chinese. So we tried, but it didn't really work out back in the day. So it was all European, American, Australian, and then the Thai, basically.
That makes sense. And you learn these. The only way you learn these things is by actually experiencing it, isn't it?
Right.
Like I have a friend he ran a business in Malaysia for a number of years, and I think it's probably a little bit different there than here. This example, but like in Malaysia, you got like the Chinese, the Malays, and the Tamil Indians.
Yeah, here too.
And not to sort of like get into specifics, but he would say like certain nationalities didn't like working under other nationalities. Like there was a pecking order. By sort of background.
Kind of.
And he had to navigate that. Whereas in Australia, everyone just gets thrown into the same bucket. But it was a bit different in Malaysia. So I don't know. Maybe there was a little bit, probably less of that in Thailand, I think maybe. But I guess like with Japanese, Chinese, and then like Thais, maybe there's
they're like
a little bit.
But I think the Thais and Western culture are mixing quite well together.
Quite well.
I think Thai culture is very mannered. I think we can even learn a lot from the Thai culture in general, because of course they are mannered. Western culture is, I would say, also quite mannered. But the Thai are much more calm, and you would never raise your voice, and like everything is sabai, will get sorted. Much slower as well. It takes a lot more time, but I think that's okay. We in the West are always rushed, and we always on a schedule, and everything needs to be on time.
On time, and
in Thailand is more sabai. It's okay. We'll work out. Don't worry, And it's also like in the beginning it was hard to work with, of course, because you're not used to it.
Yeah.
But eventually you kind of like start to respect it as well.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted to change my functionality and all that stuff, but you do
But
also
that is something
respect
to
it.
be aware of, isn't it? Because if you come in with like a Western mindset and punctuality is quite important, and then people might come to a meeting 5 minutes late and think, oh, you know, but like, it's,
what are you doing? Yeah.
You got to let that go a little bit, don't you?
Kind of in the beginning, yeah, but the Thai are also kind of like getting used to like that Western functionality is important. So they, you know, it's there was a gap. I think the gap will get smaller over time, and you adjust a little bit, they adjust a little bit, and it works fine.
In the middle.
Yeah. But in the beginning, when I just arrived in Thailand, you know, I was definitely not realizing all the things that I'm realizing now in terms of safetyness, for example, you know, in Thailand, or in terms of that nobody would ever steal from each other, even though you leave your iPhone in the middle of nowhere where everybody can get it. Nobody will get it. You know, in a city of 24 million people, it's bizarre. Or that you come in like very poor areas and you realize that these poor areas are just one of the safest places to go. You know, because nobody would, you know, they would hurt you, and that is, I think, such a good thing about Thailand in comparison to Western Europe or America. Like there is no place, I think, in Thailand where you can go which is unsafe in terms of culture, because everywhere where you go there is a community, right? Like people take care of each other.
Everyone's looking out. You got
everyone has some sort of community.
The motorbike taxi drivers, they keep an eye on everything.
Exactly. It's amazing in that perspective.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I mean, you hear stories about like a guy who sort of had his push bike and sort of left it sort of leaning up against a park bench for 3 days and came back and it was still there.
Still there?
But if you're in Australia, like you can leave it there 15 minutes, it's gone.
And gone. Even though in China, when I was in China was also a lot more safe, I would say.
Yeah.
But over the time, they were doing some weird stuff with stealing all the batteries out of your scooters and stuff. That was different. But here in Thailand, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. I've never ever had anything stolen or not even close to it, or I felt
around,
safe.
You feel a lot safer, don't you?
Oh, and my kids, I have 2 young kids, 1.5 and 4.5, and we have a nanny. And you know, in Europe, I wouldn't feel very comfortable if the nanny was only going to a park alone with them. You know.
Yeah.
Here, I have no hesitation of like that there's some crazy guy going after them or whatever, because they're just not here for some reason, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm missing it really, but I've never come across anything that I felt like this is a danger for my kids or for myself or for my wife. And the longer you're here in Thailand, in my perspective, the more you appreciate that. And then you go back to Europe.
And then you go back and see, because things are changing a lot in a lot of Western countries.
You go back to Europe and you're waiting for a train to go in Amsterdam, for example, and it's 10 o'clock in the evening, 10 p.m. Yeah, and then you have some guys coming over and the whole platform is empty and there's a group of guys coming over, and then it's like, wow, I've never experienced this in Thailand. That I feel kind of like, okay, what is going to happen if they're going to want from me something or whatever, you know, because there's no one around me.
That's right.
And I never ever felt that in Thailand. And in Europe, I'm there for a month, a year, maybe sometimes longer, and I feel these kind of unsafetyness already, which is bizarre.
It is, yeah.
So sad.
I mean, I guess safety is one of the reasons why people come to Thailand, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. Before we move on, let's just talk, while we're still on the Vandershore and the current day of running your business here in Thailand, let's just talk a little bit about running a company in Thailand, the compliance involved. Is there much sort of lodgements you have to do? Work permits, because they got the 4-to-1 rule, over here, don't they? So you have to hire 4 locals before you can sponsor a foreigner. So that's something people have to be aware of. So let's just talk a little bit about the compliance side and just the complexities of running a company in Thailand. Yeah,
that's a really good one, because you know, I've after Pacific Prime, right, I had 2 other jobs, but I always was walking around with the idea to start a company for myself.
Yeah.
But then you're looking up to it like a mountain of work, right? Oh, I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to get such, I need to get so, I need to get, you know?
Yeah.
And there are so many things you need in order to set up a company, especially in the insurance industry, because you need licenses here, you need the company registration, etc. But after a while, I thought I just need to start somewhere, and then the things will roll out eventually. And I think
one thing at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time. And so I just registered a company and a consultancy company in the beginning, and I just wanted to see if it works, you know. And I set up a website, and I set up like an internal CRM system, a quoting system, so I'm able to do what I was usually doing at the previous companies, brokerage firms that I worked for, and that kind of like worked out. And the company registration is quite easy to do.
Yeah. And I'm sure you have an accountant that helps you with all.
You need an agent for everything. You need an agent or a Thai person for everything. You cannot really do it alone because it's all on the Thai way, and it's quite.
But it's all doable, you know, if you're prepared to pay the money for the services.
Correct.
You know,
but there are big difference in terms of services as well. You know, like if you, because I was here already when I started the company like 7 years. So I was living here 7 years. So and I have a Thai business partner, of course.
Yeah.
I can do the things on the Thai way. And that saves a lot of money. Because if you come here as a foreigner and you want to start a company, you're going to talk to like bigger lawyer firms, and they charge you like, I don't know how much money, 50, 60,000 baht for just the registration of the company. You can do it also for 5,000 baht.
Well, that's worth
10x less, you know.
Absolutely, that's a really good point there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you were telling us before, and a lot of people would be aware that you can't come in as a foreigner and own more than 49% of shares in the company.
Correct. Yeah. So, well, the company limited. So in the you know the default company registration, which is a company limited company, that you cannot own more than 49% as a foreigner.
Yep. So you have to have 51 foreign% hold or 51 local ownership. But like what you brought up there is a really good point, that this can actually be an advantage. Having Thai partners is going to get you around a lot of the local bureaucracy.
Correct. Yeah. So I have 3 Thai partners. So I still own the majority because I own 49% of the majority, 49%.
And that's a good point as well. Even though you can only own 49%, so you can't own 51% of the company, you are still the majority shareholder.
Yeah, because I've divided the 3,
that's really smart.
the 51% over 3 Thai people. Correct. But then I have one main business partner that has a good chunk as well, and you know, with him I'm basically doing everything. So he's doing really all the arrangements on the Thai side.
Okay.
And that's really working well, and I'm basically doing all the arrangement on the foreign side, because the foreign side are all the clients, etc. And that's really working well. I know him also already a long time, and you know, we built a very long trust relationship. And
how do you find this guy? Is he one of your ex-employees from?
Well, he's one of the guys that didn't work for Pacific Prime, but after you know, I was let go at Pacific Prime, I worked for Rabbit, which is also a large tech company here in Thailand, and I set up for them the whole international business unit, business department. And
so you're ready to, you're done.
I did it twice.
Prime,
I did it twice.
So you're ready to go to start Vandershore. You knew everything to do.
Kind of, yeah. But I never did it for myself, you know. And I always had a big infrastructure behind me. You know? Correct. Yeah. And then my business partner was basically my third hire at Rabbit, and that was so that's where we started to work together. And he was doing very well in that team, and he became, you know, like a team leader, etc. as well. So we worked together there already for almost 2 years. And then after Rabbit, I went to another company, a insurance brokerage, which was owned by Dutch guys, but eventually they sold it to a British company, and I thought like, okay, this is the moment, I need to do this myself. And then I reconnected again with Nutarut, who is my business partner now, and it's like, I think we need to do this ourselves. Let's do it in 2024. First of January we started, and then I launched it actually first alone, and then he joined me 3 months later because he had still a job as well at another insurance company, and then he joined me 3 months later, and now we're almost in for this is our 3rd year now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So before we move on, let's just talk a little bit about the tax in Thailand. So it's very doable to set up a company here. You just got to have someone on the Thai side helping you do it, have some shareholders as well, as you just mentioned. When you make a profit, the headline rate for over 3 million baht profit, which would be around $100,000 US, something like that.
Yeah.
Once you profit over that, you're paying 20%.
Yeah.
So it's not high, it's not low, it's probably somewhere in the middle, I'd say.
Yeah.
Definitely lower than
And below
Australia.
that, it's 15%. Yeah, and the first $1 million baht is, I think, tax-free anyway.
I think the first 300,000 is tax-free, and then 300,000 to 3 million is 15%.
Okay.
And then above 3 million, 20%. So if you're just a small business starting out and you're not booking big profits, you're probably only paying 15% anyway.
Right.
And then if you start doing well, you're going to be paying 20%.
Yeah.
Which is still, in Australia, you pay 25% for a small company. A big corporate pays 30%.
Right. Yeah.
What do they pay in the Netherlands?
A whole lot more. There's of course, well, it depends actually. If you're running a company, it's still okay, but the personal income tax is extremely high.
Same as Australia.
Box 3 is 52%.
Right, really?
Yeah, 52.
52. Yeah, right. I thought that was. I thought Australia was worse, but no.
No. Holland is one of the highest tax rates in the Netherlands, and now recently they've introduced also the tax on unrealized gains on your investments like stocks and crypto or whatever, which is bizarre.
That's crazy, bizarre. Yeah. Just before we get onto that, I mean, look, like even if, I think Australia is a similar example to the Netherlands, you're only paying like 25% of the corporate level, but you got to get the money out, you know?
Right, yeah.
And then when you get the money out, the top rate you're paying 47%. So like half your, over a certain point, but if you're making good money, you're on 47%. So
that's why you need to keep increasing the cost of the company, you know?
Yeah, and then they still want to talk about these new wealth taxes and whatnot. So, I mean, look, I don't know a lot about it, but I've spoken to a few Dutch people who are moving out to Thailand, and for some of them, that is one of the big reasons why they're coming out here, because they just, they feel that they're a target, basically, and coming after unrealized gains, it's something that doesn't sit well with most people who have some kind of investment. They did talk about doing this in Australia in the superannuation system, which they had to backtrack. They wanted to do it, but there was a lot of opposition, and they've stepped back from that for the time being. But in the Netherlands, it looks like it might be going ahead.
Yeah, the coalition or the parliament has approved it, but then it needs to be like introduced in 2027. It's going to be activated, but there's so much opposition against it now. Like it even went all the way up.
All the capital's going to leave, isn't it?
Yeah, and it even went all the way up to Elon Musk. He commented on it as well. So it was like, and then what happens is that all these people will just leave. You know, like they're going to leave, and that's exactly what's happening already. Like all these influencers or crypto gurus or whatever they're leaving to Dubai or to Thailand or Southeast Asia or whatever, and that's why.
I mean, if you can, why not?
I have a big community here of Dutch friends as well. Like,
really?
Again, there are two communities. Like my hockey team, my hockey friends are all like people that are working for the larger Dutch companies, but there are also a big friends group that are all entrepreneurs and all crypto guys, for example. Or
there's a few of them.
And those are all like, hey, you cannot live in Holland anymore because you're just losing 50% or more of your income.
I mean, a wealth tax is one thing, but a wealth tax on unrealized gains, money that you don't even have yet in your pocket, that's you can only pay it by selling stuff, can't you?
And what if it then drops a year later?
Are they going to give you a refund?
Are they going to give you a refund, or are they going to pay for your losses? It doesn't work like that. So. It's bizarre.
It just doesn't work.
No.
I mean, it won't work, and anyone who's got money will just leave.
Especially the ones that have some funds, you know. So it's like, it's so difficult, right? Because you do want to have a fair tax system, but what is then the fair rate? Like, I think it's very difficult, but I think it doesn't.
I mean, no one objects to paying tax, and most people believe there should be some kind of social safety net.
This should
but
be,
you can't sort of take it to a point where people were going to leave, can you? That's a good sign.
Yeah, because exactly, and where it doesn't, like where entrepreneurs are going to stop working, because if you make a certain threshold, it's like, okay, if I make any more money now, I'm gonna pay more than 50% of my income.
Because these are the people, the entrepreneurs who are creating the jobs.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah. This should. So it's. I think everybody is still struggling with it. Like, all the countries are like, okay, what is the right balance?
Yeah.
But it always goes left and right, because, it's very difficult to that everybody agrees on the same thing. So.
Yeah. So is there quite a decent Dutch community in Thailand?
Yeah.
Or like, I guess for Dutch people who are leaving, where do they tend to go? Is Thailand sort of in the sort of top 3 of destinations, or people going to South America, or?
Also, I think so. There are also a lot of people going to South America, or Asia. Vietnam is also quite hot lately. But Thailand is, I think, one of the, it's already traditionally.
It's already established, and they got a pretty decent tax system here.
Exactly, and there are so many people here already. So. Yeah. I think Thailand is one of the countries where most people start, and it's again, it's the culture, safetiness, the food, affordability, all important aspects of life.
Absolutely,
Thailand ticks very high.
It does.
The only thing I always say, which is not, where it doesn't tick very high, is traffic. in Thailand.
At least you've got a motorbike, so.
Yeah, I do everything by motorbike, and that's fine. And they're redoing all the sidewalks now, because it was also hard sometimes to walk with kids, etc.
Oh yeah, like removing the street food and that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
The sidewalks were very high. There's a lot of difference between, and it's not like equalized.
I mean, I can understand why they want to do it, but it seems like almost a bit of a shame as well if we lose the street food.
True, it's a culture, So I don't think they're like really onto that anymore, because this discussion was going on, I think about 3, 4, 5 years ago, right before COVID. I think they called this project Singaporeification of Bangkok.
They wanted to create hawker centers like Singapore, didn't they?
Correct, where you can just walk around with the stroller, or for elderly people that they don't have to climb up all the different sidewalks, etc. And that's exactly what's happening. So I actually moved to Soi 26 just now, and they have equalized the whole sidewalk, and it's beautiful, and the trees are still there. So that's really working out.
Yeah, that's one of the things I kind of like about where I am out in Ladprao.
Okay,
because you don't get any of that. It's still very old school Thailand.
So some people like it as well, but it's good that you can walk around at least,
Yeah, I mean, I can understand them sort of looking up to Singapore as probably. You could have a worse role model, couldn't you?
Yeah. No, Singapore is.
I mean, you can't blame them for wanting to make their city more beautiful.
Singapore is a complete different beast, obviously. Like it, culture-wise, it's like it doesn't compare to Thailand at all. Thailand has the real traditional essence of Thai culture, where everybody is like still cooking on the street on every corner, and you have all the Thais sitting outside, and it's beautiful. I love it. That definitely needs to stay, and that will stay, I think, because the Thai culture is very strong in that regard. But that they're doing the sidewalks, and I hope they're also going to do something about the noise of all the motorbikes. That the motorbikes are there, that's fine.
The young guys who've modified their exhaust.
But there is a culture, especially on the younger guys,
Some of them are pretty loud.
Where they modified their exhaust, and they're so loud, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Where in China you don't hear anything, because it's all electric. All the motorbikes are electric. So there it's the other side, because sometimes if you're not used to it, that you don't even look, because you don't hear anything.
Even
so you
like
just cross.
The cars are electric now, aren't they?
All the cars are electric.
You've got to
as
look,
well.
otherwise.
I know, yeah. There's no sign to it. It's super quiet, which is very nice, And Bangkok in that sense is still quite noisy, especially with all the exhausts, and also with the tuk-tuks, The tuk-tuks are very loud, All these guys, they have this massive exhaust plan. But there's also the culture thing again,
part of the charm. And,
the charm.
And, no place is perfect, but that's, there's certainly...
But once you have kids, it's...
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about being out here with a family. And because there are more... I mean, if you go back sort of 10 years... and longer, it was probably mostly semi-retired man coming out to Thailand.
Probably, yeah.
And now, since remote work has become, maybe in like the last sort of 10 years, it's probably been a big thing. And a lot more people are working on online now.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot more younger people living out here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also getting to a lot more, and we talk to more families now, whereas I think sort of 20 years ago, that would have been pretty rare, bringing a family out here. But now there's more people wanting to do that as well, and sort of raising kids out here. And you're doing exactly that.
Yeah.
So your wife is German?
German.
So like I guess you could say a European family, if that's
Correct.
something you can...
For sure, yeah.
So you've come
very
out
European. Yeah.
And I don't know if you see yourself as European or if you see yourself as Dutch, like, you know what I mean? But
I still see myself as Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I still love
like
sure.
a Western family, a European family coming out here, you've got 2 kids that you're raising in Bangkok. That would be interesting in itself. So let's hear a bit about like what are the schools like? What are the children? Are they have they got a bit of a funny sort of blended accent, or do they speak Thai, and like how's all that sort of work?
They speak almost like Thai is probably the one that they speak not the most.
Yeah. But they can. I mean, they're
they
pretty
can.
young,
They're like my 1.5-year-old boy cannot really speak yet because he's 1.5. He gets some words now out there, but my 4.5-year-old girl, like her number one language is English, because I speak still English with my wife.
Yeah.
But I speak a lot with her in Dutch, and my wife speaks German against her. So it's really
and she
like
learns a bit of Thai at school.
And exactly, she goes to like a semi-Thai kindergarten, full time, and that's where she learns a bit of Thai, because all the teachers are so Thai, Filipino and Thai, and she's absolutely loving it there. So it's really good. But slowly we're looking for a bigger school because she's almost 5. And then
are you going to put it into an international school?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and that's quite expensive.
Yeah.
But luckily, I've worked a lot with schools as well in terms of my business in insurance. So I kind of like knew all the schools as well before.
Yeah.
And you have the top tier schools, which are like kind of like 5 schools, and they are like expensive. Like $1 million per year, which is very much. But in the last, I would say 10 years. A lot of new schools have been built here in Thailand, so there's a lot of competition now as well. So definitely like the top tier or tier 2 schools or tier 3 schools, they are really also going down in prices. So you can go to a really good international school now. I think around 500,000 baht in the first 4 or 5 years. Then it still goes up. Still expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's still 10,000 euros, 50,000 bucks per year, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Not in comparison to Europe where it's free.
Yeah.
But you also get a really good education.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's really an American or British curriculum or Australian curriculum as well. There's an Australian International School here in Bangkok as well, which I'm also considering because they're quite competitive. I would say in terms of prices.
But it's good there's a bit more competition now as well, so maybe in time prices will come down a bit.
Yeah, and also that is changing because like not all, like traditionally speaking, if you go back 10, 20 years, you have all the big companies that are sending the expatriates here and they pay all for the schools obviously, but all these foreigners now nowadays, they're not on these expat packages anymore. They have to pay the schools by themselves. It's not included because many people are on local contracts now as well.
There'd definitely be a market for lower end,
which is happening, which is
still
already
good,
happening.
but like not paying sort of like $1,000 a month sort of thing.
No. So that's exactly what's happening. So Welsh International School is also a really good one, which is British curriculum, but it's also much more competitive. And other schools are opening up as well, and also all the the Western people that are coming here with the kids, they not necessarily or having a local contract, not necessarily have to put them into this Western school with all the American and British curriculum, and it's with the campuses and everything, which is very good, but it's not necessarily anymore, right? Like you can also nowadays do a lot online, and you can also do going to a Thai semi-international school, which is also cool because
Yeah.
people are starting to love the Thai culture as well.
Yeah.
And I have a friend, I have even a Dutch couple living in Chiang Mai. Their both kids are going to a full Thai school.
Really?
You know, so they speak
Cool.
fully Thai. Sometimes
Yeah.
they speak fully Thai. And they don't. My friends don't speak Thai yet, so they don't even know what they're saying. Their own kids.
Yeah.
But they go to a fully Thai school. You
Right.
know, and I have friends in Hua Hin as well. They go to a semi-Thai international school as well, which is like 50,000 baht per year.
Yeah, okay.
$1,200 per year. So there are a lot of options now as well popping up
Yeah.
where you can go with your kids. So
Yeah, I mean, and you know, if you sort of send your kids to like a semi, how do you call it? Like the half Thai, half international.
semi-Thai international
Yeah.
school, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're getting a lot of Thai in school.
Yeah.
And they're probably getting some English as well, but they're going to get English in the home, and you know,
Yeah.
it's not like they're going to sort of that side will be neglected.
For
I
sure.
guess sort of one thing you'd think about is like you just want to make sure your kids, when they're older, they do, if they want to, that they do have the opportunity or you know the English at the sort of the high grade to be able to go to like a university in the US or something like that.
Yeah, no, that for sure. That's exactly what I want as well. So
Just to keep
I'm
their
looking at the
options
mid-tier options.
Yeah.
Where and those are really good, and they have beautiful campuses as well with like tennis courts and
Yeah.
you know football courts and swimming pools, and it's all taken care of. You know,
Yeah.
like so you're definitely paying a whole lot more than back in Europe, but you're also getting a lot more in return, right? And these schools are really looking good. And for that matter as well, like my 4.5-year-old, she's now going almost 2.5 years already to this semi-Thai international kindergarten.
Yeah.
And you know, like they're uploading pictures every day what they're doing, and what they're doing. And my parents are seeing that as well because it's on Google Photos, and my parents are seeing that every day as well what my kids are doing in this kindergarten, and they're saying like, unbelievable what they're doing with these kids.
Really?
It's like amazing, you know.
Yeah,
like
okay.
they're doing all these little projects and also languages and doing the
Yeah.
alphabet and counting, and then
pretty
they're
interesting,
doing
isn't
the
it?
science classes, and they say like, no way you get this in Holland when they're 3 or 4 or 5 years old, you know, like there's
Yeah.
zero chance. And you're getting here in Thailand, you know, with all these Thai and Filipino teachers, you're getting 1 on 4. In Holland, you're 30 on 1, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting a whole lot more in return.
Yeah,
And they're going, the kindergarten is 9 to 6. So it's the full day as well. So we have time to work and blah, blah. And the good thing about
good.
living in Thailand is that you can have a nanny.
Yeah.
We have a nanny from Myanmar,
Yeah.
Burma, and she's taking care of my little boy from 1.5 years old.
You
And
probably couldn't do that in Amsterdam, could you?
you cannot afford that, you know, full-time nanny that is,
No.
you know, from 9 to 6 in your home
Yeah.
every day, and then you're coming home to a clean house every day, and
Yeah.
all the things are, your bed is made up, and it's such, and you have, you know, also like, she's part of the family, right?
Yeah.
Like she's super nice and really well taken care of, and the good thing is as well, she also really wants to like overwork, so then, you know, we pay her of course
Yeah.
extra
Take
per
care of
hour,
her.
but then we can play tennis, and we can you know, go to tennis tournaments, and
Yeah.
so we don't lose our freedom at all.
Yeah.
If I compare it to my brother or sister that are living in
You're gaining
Amsterdam,
freedom, aren't you?
and they have also kids, but they cannot do anything for
Yeah.
themselves anymore because they have to do everything themselves, you know, in terms
Yeah.
of taking care of the kids and coming home, and making sure that everything is clean, and we can go to all the housewarmings from our friends because like, hey, Nima, that's her name from our nanny, can you stay longer? And she would love to stay longer, you know,
Yeah.
to make also more money, of course, but she also loves our son and also our daughter, and she wants to be with them, and
Yeah.
she's really part of us. And she also went with us sometimes to Hua Hin if you go
Oh,
to
yeah?
the beach there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the family
she's
holidays?
yeah, family
Oh,
holidays.
that's good.
So it's.
Does she live at your house, or does she has her?
She has her own place now because we actually moved. She has her own place now with a bed, and but she uses that sometimes, mostly if she works until 9 or 10, we'll be coming home late, and then she has to come back in tomorrow as well. So she just stays there.
Oh,
But she
yeah.
has also like a
So you have a spare room for her?
a spare room for her.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
it's a nanny room. There are a lot of places
common,
here that have a nanny room inside.
So
and they have their own front door.
Yeah.
They have their own bathroom.
Really?
Yeah. So they don't have to go through the house if they want to leave the house
That's
as well.
great.
They have their own front door.
Yeah, got a bit of freedom there for themselves.
Yeah. So it's very good. And
so you just moved houses, didn't you, or apartments?
Yeah.
So
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what do you I mean, you got a family, so it must be a reasonable size. How many bedrooms and?
Now we have 4 with the nanny as well. 4 bedrooms.
And this is in Phrom Phong?
Phrom Phong, yeah.
Like central Bangkok.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
70,000 baht.
70?
No, 70, yeah. But it's a good place. You know, you have a swimming pool, you have a gym, you have a sauna.
Yeah.
You have in the middle of where I live and work and everything. It's very central. And it's also renovated, the place. It's not like an old place, so it's a good place for the kids and everyone. Before we lived in a much smaller place, because when I started the company, I didn't have really, way of whatever I'm gonna make in terms of money, because I never did it for myself. So we kind of like downgrade a little bit, and then I was paying 35,000 baht for 120 square meters and 2 bedroom.
How much is that? Sorry.
35,000 baht. It was kind of a still COVID deal, kind of a little bit. So there was a really good, and that was in Soi 24.
Yeah.
So one sort next to it, and that was closer to the park. So it was also a really nice place, but it became too small after the kids. Like Leo, my son, is now 1.5, and he's also getting his space and stuff. So we needed a bigger space, and now we have almost 300 square meters. And that's quite big, so we have to kind of like get used to it as well. But it's really nice, and we're settling in now. We have to get used to a little bit of the bigger space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really nice.
I'm sure you'll manage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have to go out and find a few more clients to pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's also a good thing. So. My costs are going up, and then I'm able to push myself again because I've been very fortunate that the business was going quite well.
Yeah.
The first year was difficult. I didn't have anything, so I needed to find clients. But since I was doing it already more than 12 years, or 10 years back then, 12 years, I was able to find a lot of clients from my previous network or from my previous companies, etc. So I was able to build like a clientele. And then the second year was even going better. So then, I managed to really build up a portfolio of clients. And,
good to hear.
And really help them. So that's why I was able to upgrade as well in terms of house so I'm very happy that I ever made that choice to start my own business.
Yeah, it's all worked out well, hasn't it?
Now I'm able to provide for my family and living in a bigger house and go back to my home country, my parents, etc. Once a year, maybe even twice if I do better. But this also again pushes me to work harder again. Because my costs are going up. You need a push.
Bit of prodding, don't
if you get too comfortable, then you don't have a boss anymore. It's hard to keep pushing yourself if you're too comfortable. So the only way is like make yourself difficult to kind of like live a little bit more expensive life, and then you have to push yourself again to find more clients, etc. So
fair enough. We'll tell the viewers as well that you're going to offer a discount.
Yep.
We'll give them a coupon code.
Yeah.
And if they use the coupon code and go through you and mention that, then they'll get a discount with you for health insurance policy.
We get a full 10% discount on any health insurance policy through any insurance company.
So you do healthcare, but
health insurance.
You do other kinds of insurance as well.
We're really specialized in health insurance and group health insurance for employee benefits. But we do car insurance, we do travel insurance, we do all the miscellaneous insurance like property insurance, liability insurance. We do, the P&C, property and casualty insurance as well. We do any insurance you come across, we can do it. We are a broker. We work with all the insurance companies together. We're really specialized in health insurance, so we're the best at that. And group health insurance as well. Car insurance we do also a lot. And health insurance is one of the biggest issues for people, especially older people, that are moving to Thailand.
And there's just a lot more. I think it's a good business to be in. There's so many people moving out to Thailand nowadays.
And especially retirees, and for them it's a big issue, because if you're above 60 or even above 50, you have pre-existing conditions, right? And that is very different from when you come from Europe or also Australia. America is a little bit different because they have a large private healthcare system there as well. So the Americans are more used to getting things excluded if they have a pre-existing condition, but Europeans and Australians, they are not used to that. So once they're moving to Thailand, they're getting an insurance policy, and if they had like a heart issue, for example, the heart will be excluded.
Yeah.
And that's, or whatever existing condition you may have. So you have to be very, very careful with that.
Yep.
And it's good to consult someone that has, has knowledge of all the different insurance companies.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to offer, and not all insurance companies are also very trustworthy. The ones in Thailand are trustworthy because they're regulated, but the ones that are not in Thailand, that are offering insurance products in Thailand but are registered overseas, sometimes they can be a bit sketchy.
Well, that's the thing. You're not some guy sitting in an office in London.
No, exactly.
You're on the ground in Bangkok. You know the local. You know all the hospitals. You know the people that you have to talk to get claims done and whatnot. You know what life is like in Thailand. So you're going to get a really good product going through someone like you, I think, compared to, or absolutely better than going to someone based overseas who just happens to insure in Thailand.
Exactly. No. Like I'm here on the ground. I receive all my clients here in the office. So 24, and I'm since I'm doing it already almost 15 years. I kind of also know what can happen with insurance companies over the long term. And that changes rapidly as well, with terms of premium increases or benefit changes or so my suggestion is always go with a stable insurance company if you want to stay in Thailand for the long term, right? Because then you're not surprised by anything that's going to happen, whereas smaller insurance companies can be quite unstable, and things change over time quite rapidly, and especially in terms of premium increases.
And you hear stories about I don't know so much about health insurance, but more like the travel insurance. You hear stories about, everything looks good when you're signing up for the policy, but when it comes time to trying to put a claim in, things can get difficult pretty quick.
Exactly. Also in terms of travel insurance, like there are thousands of travel providers. You only type in travel insurance in Google, you get like 20, 30, 40, 50 hits, like what am I going to choose, So it's very important to know where the insurance company is regulated, where they are licensed, where they're paying the claims from, who is the underwriter, who determine their premium increases over the long term. It's so complicated. And I also didn't know that when I started working for Pacific Prime. And there was a whole world, that opened up for me. And then, I really wanted to make sure that, clients are making a well-informed and wise decision over the long term, because there are just so many insurance companies out there that are complete garbage.
Fair enough.
Garbage.
But not Vandershaw.
No, well, we're not an insurance company. We're insurance brokers. So we don't insure anyone. The insurance companies are insuring. We are just the middleman. We're just the middleman.
Okay, well, I think we can wrap it up there, Walter. Thanks again for coming on.
No worries.
We've had you on before to talk about insurance, and we'll put some links in the video about that as well. But I think we're going to do another video going over kind of like an FAQ style, because we've had a lot of comments on YouTube, people just asking various questions, so we're going to address a lot of them in a separate video.
Happy to do that.
Fantastic, thank you. But I think the viewers find it pretty interesting as well.
Cool.
But today was just more to talk about you and your life, because that's interesting in itself. But
I hope it is.
We'll get a bit more into the insurance stuff in a separate video.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Come Cup.
Golden Cup.